Good afternoon, everyone, and especially good afternoon to the people of Minnesota.
Yes!
Thank you all for being here. You have given us life because of your resistance to the authoritarianism, fascism, and tyranny of the Trump administration. We the people have to stand for our rights. We have to stand for the Constitution. We have to stand for our First Amendment rights to freedom of the speech, freedom of assembly, and freedom of the press. That's what the founders intended. And today, we have the federal government trying to weaponize the Department of Justice in order to silence us, in order to prevent us from speaking the truth.
That ain't right.
No, that ain't right. They are trying to prevent us from calling out a manifest injustice. And that is having someone like David Easterwood having the nerve to serve as a pastor at City's Church in St. Paul, while also serving as the director of ICE at the Whipple Building in St. Paul.
No.
Somebody say that ain't right. I am an ordained reverend. I am also a preacher. And the gospel that I serve believes in loving one's neighbor as you love yourself. Not going into church on Sundays and preaching, and then Monday through Saturday, you are condoning brutality, terrorism, abuse, violence against women, and even murder. That is not acceptable. It is unconscionable. So we will continue to stand. These charges need to be dropped right now.
Drop the charges.
How can the Trump administration and the federal government claim to care about justice when they are protecting pedophiles? They're protecting rapists. They're protecting people who have intentionally harmed women and children. And just because these people claim to be powerful, they claim to be billionaires, they are not above the law.
That's right.
So to have the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, sitting in Congress protecting these people shows why she is unfit to serve as the Attorney General of the United States. And let's not talk about Kristi Noem, who does not have the requisite law enforcement experience against terrorism, or anything else that would qualify her to serve as the Secretary of DHS. This was not a merit-based hire. This was a political appointment that has caused a catastrophe in the state of Minnesota and across this nation. So Kristi Noem must go. And then let's not talk about Vice President J.D. Vance, who is married to an immigrant woman, but who is weaponizing his position and the power of the law against our immigrant neighbors. It's unfair, it's not right, it's unconscionable. And this man is an attorney, and he had the nerve to misstate the law, claiming that the ICE agent who killed Renee Good has absolute immunity.
Wow.
That is a lie from the pit of hell. If you are going to be in a position of power, then you need to respect the rights of the people, the rights of the Constitution, and our democracy. They need to be calling for the immediate arrest of the ICE agents and the federal agents who killed Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, we stand for the people of Minnesota and across this nation. We stand for the voiceless. We stand for the vulnerable. We stand for those who have had their voices silenced, who've been terrorized, who've been abused, who've been bullied, who've been mistreated. We stand for all of those on the margins. And we center our power as the people. So again, we will continue to fight these unjust charges until they are dismissed. Amen. All power to the people.
My name is Chauntyll Allen. I am a St. Paul School Board member and one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter Twin Cities. This is land of the free, and you are seeing the home of the brave.
That's right.
You want to know about people who really care about our humans, care about our people, and care about our Constitution? Look at the people that are taking a stand in Minnesota right now.
That's right.
Look at the people that are standing up for our children right now.
That's right.
Look at the people that are taking the time to sit with their moral compass and make a decision that is not based on so-called law and order, but on centered morality around God. I need everybody. We see what happened in Minnesota. Everybody checked their moral compass.
That's right.
And they showed up in the streets.
That's right.
And they made sure that our neighbors were safe.
That's right.
They made sure that we had each other to lean on. We made sure that there was food. We made sure there was mental health support.
Right.
We made sure that there was safety, right? We need the whole country to step up right now and demand that this is land of the free and home of the brave. That is a very real thing, and I want everybody to grab onto that. That was not just for the white man who wrote the line. That was for every single person that stepped into the land of the United States of America. Everybody who came here and said, I want something better for my family. Everybody who came here and said, I want to contribute to a society that cares about people, that cares about freedom. Everybody who showed up in this land and said, I will work hard to make sure that my family and my neighbors are well taken care of. And we saw that with our very own eyes here in the state of Minnesota. We saw that. People gave themselves, they gave their resources, they gave their time to make sure that our communities are safe. And so, as a school board member, I'm going to say, check your moral compass right now. Because our babies are scared, our babies are living in fear, and our babies are not learning right now because of what this administration is doing to our community. Check your moral compass and do something about it.
All right. Oh, hey, that's right.
My name is William Kelly. I'm a combat veteran. I'm a patriot. I'm a lover of the Constitution. I'm an ally to my Black, Latino, and indigenous people. I will not stand here and be intimidated by Pam Bondi on her persecution of these patriots, of these freedom fighters, of these journalists who are brave enough to document what we're doing in this city. What is happening in Minnesota is a resistance against tyranny, a resistance against fascism. And the absurdity of us being right here, right now, the peaceful nine being persecuted, while the murderers and the executioners of Alex Petty and Renee Good walk free, not only walk free, but are still working for the federal government. This is madness. It's time to wake up, Americans. It's time to get off your couches and stand with your brothers and sisters in solidarity. All power to all the people.
Power to the people.
My name is Jamel Lundy. I am a candidate for Minnesota Senate District 65. I have over a 15-year career in the Minnesota State Legislature. When I decided to show up with community, I showed up because community needs folks to stand with them. We have activists under attack. We have journalists under attack. And here in Minnesota, we have elected officials under attack. That is unacceptable. We need to turn this page. We heard recently that Operation Metro Surge may be over. But I want to let you know the people of Minnesota have not forgotten what happened here. And the people of the United States will not forget what happened here, particularly in November at the ballot box. Again, my name is Jamel Lundy, and I'm running for Senate District 65. Y'all have a nice one.
I'm Zakiya Sankara Jabbar, and I am from Racial Justice Now by way of Silver Spring, Maryland, Dayton, Ohio, and Birmingham, Alabama.
Come on.
I came here when I saw that my friends and my colleagues were under attack because a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So I flew in today to be here to stand in solidarity for justice. Everybody in this country should be paying attention to what's happening here in Minnesota. They are showing us how to fight. Everybody should be in the streets whenever there is injustice against, whether it's police brutality or whether it's ICE. Stand up for the people, regardless. Black power, all power to the people.
All power to the people.
I'm right here, sis.
Leslie, right here.
Leslie and then Jay. I'm right here, sis. Fannie Lou Hamer once said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I don't know about you all, but I'm sick and tired of standing by while truth tellers and journalists come under attack.
Right.
Amen. Grace and peace, everyone. My name is Leslie E. Redmond, former president for the Minneapolis NAACP. I'm an attorney. Nekima was my law professor. And me and Jamel were in law school at the same time. And Chauntyll Allen is just such a tremendous force in our community. And Georgia Fort is an amazing journalist and wife and mom. And William is the newest one to me, but I love William.
Welcome, William.
We welcome William. And I just want you all to remember that we are still in a state of emergency in Minnesota. And this political prosecution is an example. I'm not as worried about the people that are loud. I'm worried about the people that are silent. I wondered when we were standing out here today, where is City Churches? As a City's church, where are they right now? Why are they not saying this is not the Jesus and the God that I stand for? If Jesus was around, he would have been flipping tables. So I wonder how City Church can stay quiet and silent when peaceful protesters are being prosecuted politically, where journalists are being prosecuted politically. I wonder where all the churches are, where all of our faith leaders are. Minnesota Council of Churches, where are you at?
That's right.
If I don't, Isaiah, where are you at? If I don't see a statement defending and protecting not only our freedom of speech, our democracy and our Constitution is on the line.
That's right.
And so we have to ask ourselves, who is not present and accounted for?
Right.
Where are they and why are they silent? Why do we live in a world where Nekima and Chauntyll had not only white supremacy, but they had mugshots before Jonathan Ross, who doesn't have a mugshot, right? So you're telling me that voices and speaking truth to power is more of a crime than killing a woman in cold blood.
That's right.
I want you all to remember that we wouldn't be here today but for Renee Nicole Good being killed, for standing up for her immigrant brothers and sisters.
That's right.
If you don't have a director of the ICE in St. Paul leading City's Church, you don't have a need to speak truth to power on a Sunday, January 18th in Minnesota. And so I would just say again that I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I hope that all Minnesotans are sick and tired of being sick and tired. I hope that the faith community will speak up, because what you're doing right now is going to decide what side of history that you end up on.
They're protecting white nationalism.
You are protecting the doctrine of white supremacy for far too long. Malcolm X and MLK told us that 11 a.m. on a Sunday is the most divided time in America, and we're starting to see just how divided it is.
That's right, Corey.
So again, drop all the charges. Drop all the charges. Drop all the charges.
My name is Jailani Hussein. I'm the Executive Director for the Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE, Minnesota. But I'm proud to say today that I am standing next to some of the bravest, some of the most important people in this moment who are right behind me here today. I want to be very clear, but to say to all of you that it is not an accident that the murder of George Floyd happened in Minnesota. And once again, we find ourselves in this moment standing up for justice and our democracy, which means we are the civil rights moment of this generation right here. And the front lines of that fight is right here. And those who are paying the price of that fight are standing right here. And I want Minnesotans to wake up to every day knowing that it is the few who are standing up, but you can join just like others have to stand up for this moment. There will be a day that comes that this tyranny and what we are dealing with will be long over. But I want you to know it would have not come unless people stood up and stood up.
That's right.
And I want you to know it is history rhymes, and my sister says, and we see it once again that those who stand up are the first ones to be put into prison, but not the ones who are committing the crimes.
That's right.
And we still demand justice for Alex Preddy, for Renee Good. And we just learned of the young man, Jose, who now the FBI have cleared the fact that what we all knew, that they shot into the house and injured him rather than shooting on the outside. The truth is coming out. And it's coming out not because they're choosing, because we are the ones standing up for it. We are the ones telling it. And so, most of you know Don Lemons, but we know the people who are right behind us. And America and history books will know, because their work does not indicate just this moment. Dr. Nekima has been on the ground every single day, not only as a professor, but someone who stood on defending and fighting for justice. Chauntyll Allen is someone we know who has stood on the ground fighting for youth, and most importantly, didn't give up, still continued that fight, and now she's a school board member. Everyone you're seeing here today is someone who's made a significant improvement to the state of Minnesota, and Minnesotans across this country are teaching folks across this country what it's like to fight back. But I will tell you, just like as all of you heard, that ICE is going somewhere else. They better not go anywhere else.
That's right.
Because I'm telling you, Minnesotans have shown you how to stand up for your neighbor. ICE cannot go anywhere unless Minnesotans hear about it. And I want to say to all these brave people, we are with you, we stand with you, we love you, and in this moment, all they did is inch your books in the history books for generations to know that you were on the front lines, and you did the right thing, and you stood for the truth. And for all the people, especially the journalists, you are not safe until you stand up for your colleagues who are being in prison right now. And we ask you to tell the truth. We ask you to hold this administration accountable. When they lie, turn the damn cameras off. When they don't tell the truth, ask them the hard questions. Do not let this moment be a moment of just the people on the front lines. Everybody has a role in this moment. Everybody, the young, the old. And I always say we always must demand justice by any means necessary.
Down, down with deportations.
Down, down with deportations.
Down, down with deportations.
Down, down with deportations.
Up, up with reparations.
Up with reparations.
Up with reparations.
Up with reparations.
Down with deportations.
Down with deportations.
Down with deportations.
Down with deportations.
Up with reparations.
Up with reparations.
Up with reparations.
Up with reparations.
In the early 1830s, Dred Scott and Harriet Scott were held at Fort Snelling in military slavery and in military bondage.
That's right.
In the end of January, peaceful protesters and myself were also held in federal custody at Fort Snelling in bondage, and the same place where Dred and Harriet Scott were held in bondage in the 1830s at the Whipple Building. Somebody say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
Somebody say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
So I'm just glad that all our peaceful protesters are here today gathered, and that you guys are here to support. We'll be back here on Tuesday, same time, same channel, Georgia Fort, a member of the press, myself, a protester, an activist, will be here standing up for our rights along with our brothers and sisters. No justice,
No peace.
no racist,
Police.
no justice,
No peace.
no racist,
Police.
peace.
I'm definitely gonna close this out, though. You know I'm gonna close this out.
You want to speak? Okay. Go ahead.
Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Woo. If you want ICE, yeah. It's guilty as hell. We want ICE out of our city. They said the end of Metro Surge was yesterday. But do we believe that? No. Do we believe that? No. We know that troopers and sheriffs have been negotiating with ICE and with DHS to talk about allowing them access to all of the jails and prisons. Somebody say that ain't right. That ain't right. Think about who's incarcerated. Think about the people that are in jails and prisons. They're doing that because they assume that nobody cares about them, that nobody's going to be paying attention. But we need to keep our head on a swivel, Minnesota. This is not over. Right. Something you can do right away today is call your U.S. senators and representatives and demand that they stop funding ICE. We want ICE out of our city. We want ICE to be defunded because they don't follow the law. DHS isn't upholding the law or the Constitution, and it's time that they be held accountable. This is a capitalist society. Yes. So if we want to see change, we got to hit their pockets. Yes. So you need to call your U.S. senators and U.S. representatives and demand that they defund ICE today. Drop the charges. We want justice for all the people. All power to you.
Drop the charges.
One thing to remind us of is the power of the people. You all remember that February 1st, 2025, we launched a boycott against Target that started right here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. We are now entering year 2 of the Target boycott. They have seen a lot of repercussions from the people. They've lost billions of dollars in their valuation. They've had to oust their CEO. They have had consecutive months of declining foot traffic. They've had declining stock prices. They've taken reputational hits like being dropped from the Forbes list of most admired companies after 24 years. All right. Y'all need to give it up. Now, Target thought that they could capitulate to Donald Trump less than 1 week of him returning to office. But we, the people, sent them a message. If you don't stand with us, we will not stand with you. Period. So please remember that the Target boycott is ongoing. Spend your dollars with our local companies, our small businesses, our minority-owned companies, our women-owned companies that support our community.
That's right.
Because you all have seen all these corporations that we supported put out a weak and pathetic letter calling for de-escalation when they should have been calling for justice.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So make sure you are paying attention to how you leverage your dollars.